Okay. Right. Elon Musk, sorry, apologises to Thai cave diver for a Twitter attack. Right. I'm going to put my take on this. I think the unfortunate thing is the guy who did the rescue was for him, his work in getting those kids out was great. But his reaction to the fact that Elon had, within a short period of time, with his team of people, had designed something, it probably was useless. It obviously was useless to a degree. But the point is, he made an effort. So, how many other people were doing that? Other entrepreneurs who bothering to give their time, material to this project, because this had, well, I think most of Britain gripped. Something that's happened thousands of miles away from the UK and other countries, and yet the whole world, I'm sure, was gripped by what was going on, and yet he literally barked at him and told him that he could stick the sub up his backside, because that's what he said. He can stick it. So this is the reaction from Elon to him, which escalated with Elon, out of anger, calling him a pedo, which is what is unfortunately out of order. Because a white British man is living in Thailand, I think he's an expat living in Thailand, automatically makes him a pedo because he's of a certain age. Come on, that was wrong. But unfortunately, this is the slight image that I think Thailand gives with anybody who looks at going on a holiday to that place. It does have that bit of a reputation, but even still, that should not have been brought up in this situation. But Elon said it out of anger, and that's it. Finish. I still think he's a genius. He's and I'll continue to support him. Etc. But let's go through this. Tech entrepreneur has apologised to British cave diver he called pedo guy in a row over the cave rescue in northern Thailand, which is, we had to say it. He had to apologise because it wasn't necessary for him to say that. The guy himself was, Mr. Onsworth, unfortunately, has proven himself to be Vernon has proven himself to be a twat, but he didn't deserve to be called a pedo. He said he'd spoken in anger after Vernon Onsworth ridiculed a mini submarine he had commissioned for the rescue effort as a PR stunt. His actions against me did not justify my actions against him, and for that I apologise. Mr. Onsworth said he may sue for being called a paedophile. I reckon he'll still sue, even though he's apologised vehemently. I think he'll probably still sue. Hopefully he'll see. Mr. Vernon will see his reaction was what caused Erland's reaction, and so I hope he just basically lets it rest now. Let's go through this. So it was about, obviously everybody knows the story about the 12 boys. Mr. Onsworth's knowledge of the cave complex is said to have played a key role in the rescue effort. Great, fantastic. He travelled into the caves in the first days after the boys went missing and helped bring in top international cave rescue experts for the mission. Now, God Almighty, I would have thought you would have taken on board someone like Elon Musk, who would have probably liked to have backed contribute even more to this. But I wouldn't be surprised though if he says, "Stuff it, I ain't going to help nobody in the future. Stuff it." And I'm quite. He has every. He probably won't do anything else in the future. Any disasters that go on cave, or earthquakes and whatever, he probably won't bother anymore. And if this is how people are going to react when you try and help them. He travelled. Yeah. Right. So he visited. So Elon visited the command centre of Thailand during the rescue, announcing he had left the rescue as a mini submarine. All right. And it says just returned from Cave 3. Submarine is ready if needed. It is made of rocket parts and named Wild Boar off the kids' soccer team. Leaving here in case it may be useful in the future. Thailand is so beautiful. Nothing wrong whatsoever. In reply to another user on Twitter on Wednesday referring to an article about his involvement in the rescue mission, he wrote that he was apologising to both Mr. Unsworth and the companies he led. The fault is mine and mine alone. He's owned up to it, for God's sake. Be done, finish, end of story. At the same time, he accused Mr. Unsworth of telling untruths about his submarine, which was not used in the rescue. Fine. As it says here, as well as written, as this well-written article suggests, my words were spoken in anger after Mr. Unsworth said several untruths and suggested I engage in a sexual act with the submarine, which had been built as an act of kindness according to specification from the team leader. And needless to say, his actions against me did not justify my actions against him, and for that I apologise to Mr. Unsworth and the companies I represent as a leader. The fault is mine and mine alone. How did it erupt? Mr. Unsworth said that the mini-sub would have had absolutely no chance of working, and suggested Mr. Musk could stick his marine where it hurts. Why are you reacting so violently to that? I don't understand. I just don't understand. What if he's a publicity seeker? I mean, he's got loads and loads of things. He's in the news every single day. So why suddenly react like that towards someone who's trying to help out? So the entrepreneur fired back with a tweet without using Mr. Unsworth's name. He referred to a British expat guy who lives in Thailand. He said he would make a video showing the mini sub making it deep inside the cave, no problemo. Adding, "Sorry, pedo guy, you really did ask for it." And that's where the problem is. So unfortunately, Elon's now going to have to apologise for that, for what, calling him a paedophile. Oh dear. The tweet sent to his more than 22 million followers was later deleted. No charges or complaints had ever been filed against Mr. Unsworth, Reuters news agency quoted an unnamed police officer in Thailand's area as saying. Separately, Mr. Musk attacked the Thai official in charge of the command centre. If you think I'm going to try and attempt pronouncing his name, you can sod off. For saying the mini sub had been not practical, though technologically sophisticated. Fine, I mean, everybody's just getting their knickers in a twist over, nonsense. Mr. Musk said Mr. whatever his name had been described inaccurately as rescue chief and was not and was not the subject matter expert. How did the drama unfold? Blah blah. Everybody knows that. While exploring on the 23rd of June, that's a particularly red day. Blah blah blah, and so on and so on. Mr. Musk visited the site when it was still unclear whether divers on their own would be able to bring out the buoys. He tweeted an email from Richard Stanton, one of two British caving experts called in to front the rescue, who had urged the business leader to build the capsule as quickly as possible. Now, if that's true, I mean, he's been asked to do something. So, if that's the case, I haven't seen the tweet, so I don't know if it's true or not. But if that's what's wrong with people, the entrepreneur has been likened in the past to a genius behaving like a playground bully. Right, okay. He told financial analysts at a Tesla earning call this year that their boring, bonehead questions were not cool. So what? Tough. Grow a thicker skin. Elite work email shows he advised staff to keep big meetings very short and to walk out of a meeting or to end the phone call if it was failing to serve a useful purpose. No problem in that at all. More bizarrely, last month he scrapped on Twitter. Oh, he scrapped. Whoever's written this is a muppet. Last month he scrapped on Twitter over rights to an image of a farting unicorn before dismissing the row as kind of lame. This is what happens with some geniuses. They can be a little bit slightly off-hinged, but that's why they're geniuses. So, but look, it doesn't really matter. The boys are out. That should be the end of it. He's apologised. Done. End of story. It's just ridiculous. Let me see if I can copy this. Sorry, I'm just doing something. Yeah. So there you go. That's my take on it. Elon's apologised. He shouldn't have said it, but it was said in the heat of the moment. I understand. I hope the guy doesn't try and be silly and sue. It should be, he started it, and obviously he got angry. Elon sort of extended it and continued with it. He got angry. Everyone has got this stage now, and he's apologised. Done. Finish. End of story. If anybody wants to comment, it would be nice. And if you could share, I've never asked this before, if you could share this video with other people, it would be nice. Oh, I don't know if I've got enough time. I had a strike by YouTube because I did a video, I think it was last year, about Black Lives That Matter being a lesbian, feminist, black-led movement, female movement. It is totally useless. Black people should not join it. It doesn't do anything for the black community other than cause people to riot for no reason. Black men, don't put your neck on the line and join this organisation. They're doing nothing for you. It's a waste of time. Set up your own organisations if you want to challenge the police legally and the system. Anyway, I've said my bit. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.